Wrestling unites us in body and soul. NDT squared circle sessions where legends come alive. Passion meets knowledge, the spirit will survive. The roar, the crowd, the clash of bodies, heroes and villains in epic fights. Austin stunner, heartbreaking, screeching music. In the ring we reach great heights. The wrestling unites us in body and soul. In body and soul. Ooh, oh.
Welcome to the show.
Good evening. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another freakishly fun episode.
Oh, I got a double F adjective.
Yeah,
Look at
double
that
F
shit.
that time of the NDT Squared Circle Sessions. Next to me is my guy, Justin. I had to think about which way to point that time.
I saw that.
Mark. Oh, Mark's already in here stirring the pot.
Oh,
Listen, brother.
I was gonna say, hold on. If I'm a little off today, I'm sorry. I just got out of a toxic relationship.
We're breaking up. Anyway,
I got broken up with.
we'll get there. Listen. We have one, possibly two very special guests with us tonight. Mark, I just had an idea. I'm going to talk to you after this stream. I will message you. But
Oh boy.
I got a special guest with us right now. As you guys have known, we have been doing some crossover stuff with the Executives View podcast. They have now changed their name to Backstage Business. So we are joined tonight by a very, very knowledgeable woman, Miss Stacy Williams. We will bring Stacy out with us. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Welcome. Thank you for finally getting in here with us. We've been looking forward to this one.
Welcome to our shit show.
Yeah, welcome
I
to hell.
can't wait. I'm ready. I'm so excited.
As you can see, they're already starting. Simmons is here, Brooke. Listen, my man, you can't speak until you're in here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the rule for you tonight. So we are not showing your comments.
We had a moderator in chat.
Yeah.
Ban that mofo until he shows up.
I just won't post his stuff up. So when you're ready, get in here, buddy. So anyway, Stacy, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And oh my goodness.
Oh hot damn.
Oh my God. Talk about call. You know what? Hold on. You are fourth chair.
You know, here's the thing. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Your boy's in the building. Let's get to work, man.
What's up, Robbie?
First of all, what the hell is on your head?
You know what's
Ew.
on the head. You already know what time it is. Aaron, school
Ew.
your boy. Aaron, school your boy.
I can't say much because I'm wearing this because I like the hat. I am not a Pirates
cool
fan.
hat. It's a cool hat.
It's a cool hat. Listen, Justin, you're in a Yankee stream right now. That's all I can tell you. All right.
I feel like I need that Piazza jersey on right now.
Wow.
Look at this. I don't even know. You know what? I don't even know if we're going to get to what I want to talk about because
What do you want to talk about, Aaron?
I wanted to start with
What do you want to
SmackDown.
talk about?
I wanted to start with SmackDown, but it looks like everybody wants to talk about the Cena promo. So, I mean, I'll tell you
Big
what.
deal. It's a big
Serious, you are.
Yeah.
Now, you know what, Stacy, what do you want to start with?
I think we need to knock it out first. Let's talk about Cena and just get that business out of the way.
Let's do it.
Because that's how I feel about Cena right now. Just get him out of the way.
deal. Damn, really?
You know how I feel about it.
God, like
This is going to be a conversation.
Wow.
See, this-
that's what we get.
Oh,
Listen, brother, it was not. This is no holds barred. All
That
right,
old cornball hook. Let me stop. Go ahead.
Stacy,
For
let's have
somebody-
it.
for someone who's supposed to be a god with promos and on the mic and shit, what the hell was that? That was terrible.
I mean, if I were Drew, I'd be worried that somebody else is trying to take my crybaby spot because it was a whole lot of boohoo. We were just missing some tissue and mommy giving him a hug.
I think that's what happened. He didn't get a hug this morning. You know what I'm saying? His wife was mad at him. He didn't get none the night before or something like that because this dude went out on national television in another country and cried for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And what in the world was that? He just cried. I hate
Cody
you.
said it
I
best.
hate
You're
you.
a whiny bitch.
Your mom's a hoe. I hate you. This, that, and the third. That kid in the shirt. What the hell was that? I was so.
And he
listen,
even brought a baby in. Come on.
here's the deal. Here's the deal. If you're gonna turn heel, turn heel. That's great. Do what you got to do, but don't sit there and drop plunkies on your 20-year career on your way to flip. It makes no sense. The story, like this is straight copy and pasted from what The Rock did a year ago when he introduced the final boss character. Copy pasted. And then Stacey mentioned Drew. It's the same damn thing. At some point, John Cena is supposed to be this god on the mic. Where was that?
Look, I think there could have been
And the
any
shitter
other
like a
angle
career.
that they could have made, but him being the crybaby about it, like how does that fly? He could have said, "This is best for business. I'm a businessman. I'm gonna do what I need to do for business." He could have gone any other angle.
That would have worked.
This just makes no sense. It
That
makes
would've
no
worked.
sense.
That would have worked. What's up, gentlemen? How we doing? Hey, what's
Rick.
going on, boy?
Raises the question: if he wins the belt at Mania, does he just hand it over to The Rock?
No.
I don't think. Here's the thing. I don't think when he wins the belt at Mania, because I think all of us sitting here are understanding how this is going to fall. When he wins the belt at Mania, I do believe that, again, we talked about this last show and it's been topic of conversation. He will eventually drop the belt to
Randy
or whomever it is. But you posed an interesting question, Justin. Who's really pulling the strings here? You know what I'm saying? Obviously he's the corporate champion now. The same thing he accused and warned Cody Rhodes about becoming, but that's neither here nor there.
The Rock wants control of that belt.
He wants his soul.
What he wants.
He wants his soul. So is the soul the equivalent of a belt?
Well, what doesn't make sense is how can you stand in the ring and say you hate the life that's been built for you, you hate the fans, you hate people have taken advantage when that's what your corporate built for you. So how can you go for the final boss, who's the corporate guy, right? He's the man. The man is what built this for you the whole time. And now in one breath, you're going to cry about it. But in the next breath, you're also going after the belt for the final boss. Like you can't, it's not cohesive. I think from a storyline, it's just not cohesive at all. Like it's complaining about what you're doing it for. That just doesn't make sense.
I will say this to go back and forth with you, Stace. I wonder, and again, Justin, Aaron, you're more than welcome to, do what you do. But I wonder.
Well, thank you.
It
is our show.
I wonder, this is a video game, right? And the final boss inevitably loses at the end to win the game, right? So could this be something that they're setting up to where the final boss at the end of this whole shit show, if you will, ends up losing? And that's the end of the final boss character as John Cena rides off to the sunset or whatever case may be. I'm curious. I
don't know how he rides off into the sunset where this gets positive at any point, because he went so hard. Like he was unhinged in his hatred. I don't know how you go that far at talking about the babies and the kids and all of that. And then 6 months later, it's, oh, I'm so sorry. I was under the control.
he has to fight and beat The Rock to do it because, again, a year ago this time, Roman Reigns was the biggest heel in the industry. The biggest heel in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And then he flipped it on his ear, and now everybody's celebrating and doing all the things, and we all think he'll eventually go back to a heel, but Roman Reigns did the same thing. And now, 6 months to a year later, everybody's loving him and worshiping the ground he walks on. So it can be done, but
that's a different reason, though. Everybody loves him now because they hated him for so long, and he took the time off and allowed Solo to do a shitty job running the new bloodline that everybody was craving for Reigns to come back. Whether he came back face or heel, it didn't matter. They were going to love it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think
Cena, you only have this year.
Right.
So to go heel, I don't know. I don't see how you flip that quick.
Yep. And Justin, and two, you just said, Aaron, like maybe the way he does that is he fights The Rock. Why are we doing that? Like, why wouldn't it be Orton, Punk, somebody else that's in the business currently? Why would his last match be with somebody else that's also retired or whatever? It makes no sense. Because
in order to flip Cena face, he has to go against the Ultimate Boss. This is a game, right? I'm starting to piece it together. That's why he's named the Final Boss. Like, we've all played Sonic and Mario and all these games growing up. In order to win the game, you have to beat the Final Boss in order to do it. And so who better, again, I'm long storm storytelling here, but who better to do that to, ride off into the sunset, if you will, than somebody like a Cena right before he drops the belt to Orton.
But don't you think they already did that last year, bringing The Undertaker in? The choke slam to take The Rock out in that match.
No.
Rock's still here.
Rock's still here, and he's still doing semi-final boss type stuff. In order for that to work, Justin, The Rock would have to be totally a face again.
Right.
In order for that choke slam to mean the end of the final boss.
If that's the case, Aaron, there's no way he holds the belt when he fights The Rock. I think if anything, we go to SummerSlam, he loses the belt to Orton, and maybe The Rock's the reason why he loses the belt, or something like that. Like maybe The Rock does something that causes him to lose the belt that he finally got, and then that sets up the final match of Survivor Series, because we know regardless his last match is Survivor Series.
Correct.
He's
his last PLE. So I was going to bring this up later on, but I'll say it now. They announced the other day that the last Saturday night main event of 2025 is in Boston, Massachusetts, John Cena's hometown. So he might wrestle there. Possibly.
I think he'll make an appearance there.
Maybe his last title defense might be Survivor Series. Here's my thing with the end of this. I want to give my thoughts on the promo, but my thoughts on the end of this, no matter what way they spin this, they're going to announce it as his final match. And if Cena's holding that belt, people are going to shit all over it because they're going to know the outcome. Just like Lesnar and Goldberg at WrestleMania 20, when they knew both of those guys were leaving the company. People just shit all over it. So if he brings that belt into Survivor Series, he's losing it to whoever. That's not going to be a good look. So they need to do something to freshen it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But
which is another reason I'm so opposed to even thinking about putting the belt on him. Because he made the announcement that it's his last run, his last season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you never know. And you got to remember, too, there's going to be a Money in the Bank contract floating around out there, too. So there's this where they could do that, too.
Unless you're Drew McIntyre that blows his wad 5 minutes after he gets it, and then it's null and void.
They have got to redeem him at some point this year. I mean, he took it on the chin all year long last year.
He was very good for that. He was very, very good for that.
Yep.
Shout out to Damian Priest for cashing on 90% of it.
It was awesome. All right, so I'm going to go backwards now. Just we're going way down this road. Here's my thought on this promo. I'm going to go against the grain. I actually think this was genius on their part for the way that he presented it, because it makes sense. Cena loved the Dr. Thugonomics character. He was a heel. The crowd wasn't buying into it. So he changed his persona think of it from that standpoint and from a storytelling standpoint. The crowd forced him to be this person for the last 20 something years, and he resents the crowd for it. I mean, it's a stroke of genius on how to make.
Then you flip it on the crowd, saying you take and take and take, like he didn't get and get and get and get.
This dude is
because of that.
Paid and heavily compensated. Why are we whining?
Again, it's theater. It's theater.
The brother, the little homie was sitting in the crowd wearing his shirt. Now, when we sat here and spoke 2 weeks ago, everybody and their mother was talking about, whoa, the people that were Cena fans are older now. They should be okay. Mm-hmm. They're new young Cena fans.
I was there.
That shit makes sense. There are new young Cena fans. That brother sat there and cried.
Okay.
Because John Cena told him his vote and his money and his support meant nothing.
I'm just curious what happens to all the kids that are waiting for their Make-A-Wish this year, and he just lost his whole mind.
Like, they're going to insert Cody Rhodes.
They're gonna start sending R-Truth.
But so here,
I'd be so down for that.
That would be hysterical, actually.
The greatest thing ever.
So here's where I think this is going. I think you guys are right. He's eventually going to turn on the Rock. I think this is a big ruse. And I think some of Cena's facial expressions were kind of like, I'm regretting my decision. I don't know if this is the right move, but this is the ploy to get around this, because this guy down here doesn't want Cody to turn. So we can't turn Cody just yet.
He's not turning.
Yet.
So, stop, because I'm about to throw something at your ass and you're not going to like it. So they're going to turn Cody. He's still showing glimpses of that. The segment on Miz TV where he just went out and laid that mofo out. That's some heel shit, but heel behavior. That's heel stuff. I don't care what you have to say. That's heel behavior.
It is.
That's heel stuff. They're still dropping those little nuggets to say he's turning. When he called Cena out and said, I want to fight that John Cena, not this whiny bitch or whatever he said, that's heel shit. This is Cena's way around this. It's going to somehow expose this whole thing. I bet you at some point Cena goes back to his original character and just claims.
What if it's that Mania?
Imagine.
Well, the game plan was from the turn at Mania.
Right. They changed it up. And I love what they're doing with this product, because one, they're giving us tons of shit to talk about, and two, you can't tell which way it's going.
Yeah.
What if Cody turns at Mania? He took the Rock's deal the entire time and just played it out this way.
Y'all gonna have to come find me. I'm gonna be passed out somewhere.
He would be inconsolable.
My son and
that allows you, Cena, to have a full run over the summer face trying to get the belt off of Cody, and then you could just have him drop it at the end of the year.
And Robbie just brought up exactly what I was saying and what you think too, Justin. That's why Cody said, I want that Cena. Maybe they're realizing this was a mistake from the negativity they're getting pushed back against. I don't know. But
I said something to Aaron the other night.
Pushback from this. Imagine you do that to Cody. Imagine the pushback you get there.
I said to Aaron at some point, I was looking Sheena and I was like, I wonder if some point in his mindset, like, this is too hard, because he has been beloved for so long that there were a couple times, and I texted this to him when we were watching. I was like, I wonder if this is so much harder than he expected it to be, because when you have been beloved for so long on everywhere, not just on WWE, like worldwide in mainstream life, he is beloved. He is beloved.
Except on Total Divas.
Well, I mean, but the babies don't see Total Divas, right? You're not letting your 10-year-old watch Total Divas. So he is so beloved, and his heel turn was the biggest thing that's happened this year, right? Yep. So then you find that they're like, wow, this actually almost was too good. This heel turn was too good. And now he's like, maybe I didn't expect this to go so hard.
ESPN covered it.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Stephen A. Smith was talking about it.
It was on National Morning News.
Yep. National News.
It was National Morning News. Mainstream. So maybe it went too hard.
Imagine you flip the script now and turn Cody.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, Lord.
Don't do that.
Justin, they're gonna have to wait a
Cody
minute.
can take it, and I think Cody wants it. I really do. I think Cody wants that heat.
I don't think he does. Because here's the thing.
So good at it.
If Cena doesn't want this heat, if we're talking about it, as we looked at his first promo as turning, what makes you think Cody wants it?
Have you seen Cody heel before? Have you watched
I've seen it.
Stuff?
I've seen it. Here's the thing.
When him and Dustin had that go in AEW, that's the only thing in AEW I will ever give credit. That story was fantastic, and it's just because of those two.
That's AEW though. Like
when it was hot.
Cody was not making the money, and he didn't have the crown on his head like he has now. So why would Triple H? Why would Triple H and the powers that be mess up their money count? Why would they do that?
Because it'll bring money either way.
Jey Uso himself, as over as he is not enough to sustain the amount of kickback that the WWE would take if they flipped Cody and Cena.
No. That would be the way you turn Cena back face quick.
Yep.
You have Cody turn on him, having taken the deal with The Rock the entire time. And it's one whole big ruse.
And how awesome would it be at the end of Mania for Cena to stand there, because this is his signature hand motion. 3. The Rock did 2 and cut the throat. Cena can do his 3 and cut The Rock's throat and turn on him.
I don't think I don't think it happens.
I like how I got that man's wheels spinning right now.
I hate you so much for that, actually.
I think it's Cody that turns. I think The Rock helps Cody win.
3.
I don't. I mean, I think Cody. Aaron, I'm all in. I think Cody's turning. It's going to happen. I just don't know if they're going to do it just yet.
They might. I just think I think they honestly messed this up.
Turning
Cena was a huge mistake. I think they're starting to see that. Maybe ratings, whatever it's going to be, merch, whatever it is. I thought they were going to make some more money off this new merch with Cena's stuff. They're not doing that. So, and if you notice too, Cena.
I don't know, y'all. I think they're making merch because you saw all the people in Brussels. Everybody was in a Cena shirt.
Correct.
But I think it's deeper than that. Colors. Because I think he's probably taken a personal financial hit in all of his non-WWE stuff. I think that his reputation is taking a deeper hit than they expected it to, because he's in so much out of WWE. And I think that's why they're rethinking it for him personally.
Okay. So
because his brand is taking a hit.
To your point, though, Stace, and again, we haven't even spoke about the rest of the stuff on Monday Night.
See, I know, right?
I told you I could spend 2 hours on this alone.
We could do a slow series every night for a week and still not cover it.
We just roll this into the executive view stuff later. But wouldn't Cody's brand and his pockets and everything take a dramatic hit if they flipped him as well?
No, because he's not tied into he's not tied into Hollywood like Cena.
Yeah. His brand is only WWE. Cena's brand is outside. It is worldwide. It is mainstream. That man is endorsements,
everything.
You got to think.
You have time in the future to make Cody face again.
Yes. Cody's not ready to retire. This is Cena's last 8 months, and they just wrecked his brand. So the most beloved Make-A-Wish person ever just took the biggest heel turn. Where do you go with that outside of like all of us that are like, we would still be like, yeah, I'll take a picture, right? I'll take a selfie, great. But you got a mainstream brand that supersedes WWE that just took a major hit. And I don't think they realized it was going to be as big as it is.
Right.
I would ask him how he got his ball spot so back, ball spot fix.
Yeah, right.
Hair plug.
He's talking to David Blaine. David Blaine did some magician stuff on that.
Road game, Beijing, something was back there. But anyway.
But really, think about that. Like, I think that they thought it'd be great immediately, and it was the biggest trending event ever. But then they're like, oh, it's been a month, and look at the hit he's taking.
I agree.
I mean,
You can't retire a guy.
They may have been wearing his shit, but they booed him out of that fucking arena.
Yeah, they booed him. They booed him.
Yeah.
They booed him.
Yep.
So they may be rethinking this and saying, well, what is this going to do to him after December?
Right.
Because one night of him saying, or two a couple PLEs and a Saturday night main event is not going to be enough for them to fix his brand if they've taken this deep dive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meh. That's what you got saying, man.
I agree, Justin. Cody can be fixed. We've got plenty of time for that.
And
You
the quick
gave the
fix for
example.
Cena is to flip him, and then you got Cena on a run to SummerSlam as the chasing face.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, he wins 17 at Mania. So what's he chasing at this point?
He may not win Mania
No,
17,
He
though.
doesn't win Mania.
Rock helps Cody retain,
This is
showing
all a
that
ruse.
Cody took the deal all along, and this whole thing with Cena is a ruse.
Or Rock doesn't help him, and Cody wins straight out, and Cena realizes that Rock didn't help him, that he sold his soul, and Rock didn't get him what he wanted.
There has to be some type of wonky finish at Mania because the two of your biggest stars, you can't make either one of them look weak. I don't care if it's Cena or Cody.
No.
There has to be some type of interference or crazy shit that goes on.
Yeah, that's
But
actually
if Rock doesn't help, and something else, again, if we're going Cody heel turn, if something else happens and Rock doesn't stand in to help Cena, then Cena's like, I sold my soul to you, and you weren't there to help.
I mean,
Robbie
that
said-
man literally sold his soul. At
Robbie
this
said
point.
Travis Scott gives Cena the back side of his back.
I was looking forward to the new Travis Scott music too. Oh well.
Hi, puppy.
Sorry.
okay.
He has strong opinions about WWE too.
Hey, man.
He's adorable. All right. Well, what's next? I don't even know where to go. So you guys, Justin, pick something.
Do we go back to Smack? Did anything happen on SmackDown that was worth a shit?
I mean,
we could talk about Charlotte.
We can talk about that finally. They did something with that storyline.
Go for it.
Looked wild. Whew.
Yeah. So for the people who under a rock, there was a brawl that took place on Friday night between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair, where actually Tiffany Stratton showed some fight a little bit. I said this numerous times that they brought Charlotte Flair back and didn't do nothing with her.
Yeah,
didn't do nothing. She wins the Rumble, and this feud that they've had between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair was about as badly set up as Gunther and Jey Uso. Just about as badly set up. You know, we can talk about that if you want, but yeah, nothing to change there.
I mean, it kind of makes sense though, because everybody wants to compare Tiffy to her. I get it from that angle.
But you got to do something with it to set up the feud. Like, if it wasn't Charlotte Flair, if it was Jane Doe wrestling Tiffany Stratton, nobody would give a damn about it. Nobody would care. Because they didn't build it. Like, I've gotten more excitement watching this triple threat match between Io, Bianca, and Rhea Ripley than I have in Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. And that just came together 2 weeks ago. Why had the WWE struggled with maximizing the talent that is Charlotte Flair here? Why have the WWE struggled creating storylines and pull and interest in these marquee matchups on the road to Mania? We are 30 some odd days away from this thing kicking off, and they are moving at a snail's pace. Are you guys aware right now? And again, this is going to annoy Aaron. Alexa Bliss is not even on the card. She's not nowhere to be found.
They pulled her for some reason.
They pulled this girl. They are doing a horrible job maximizing the talent that's on the roster. And again, I get it. We don't want to run back the Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre thing, but let's keep it a buck. That shit is cooking, and it has been for a year. This whole Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins thing has been cooking for more than a year, but that thing has been cooking. Why is it so difficult for them to do the same thing with Jey Uso, Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair, and Gunther? Why?
Because when Charlotte came back, they expected her name and her reputation to be enough to make this hot. But here's the problem. She's been gone for too long, first of all. And second of all, she doesn't have the mic skill to fire the promo.
I didn't have to say it.
She does not have the mic skill to fire the promo. She could have come out and in the first time out lit this on fire. She has no mic skill and no.
She's no match for Tiffy on the mic.
And Tiffany's not even that great.
Yeah, you're right.
So you have two people that don't have mic skills.
So
we watched an entire year last year, people that didn't fight for a whole year, and they were the best. They were the best fight all year long. So we have two women that they assumed that she was going to bring a name, and her name was going to give credibility to this fight.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't, because she came back and she showed nothing.
So here's my thing, though. We are sitting here on a random ass Wednesday knowing that Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair have zero mic skills. Why do they wait until Friday to start getting these two together to where they beef with each other and all the stuff?
Why?
Well, you got to let Charlotte throw her weight around.
Well, but here's the problem.
Try to show Tiffy, I'm the bad bitch here. I still run this. And now you got Tiffy standing up for herself.
They had to make it physical. Because it's not like Drew and Punk last year. Punk was hurt, but they carried that feud all year long because they had mic skill. Neither one of these ladies had enough mic skill that they could have brought Charlotte back 4 months ago, right? Well, Tiffy just got the belt. What? I don't even remember. When did she get the belt?
Maybe when she cashed in on
first Raw? Was it first Raw?
January?
It was January sometime.
January. So she just got the belt anyway. So since they didn't give her the belt till January, you can't bring back Charlotte early enough to do any mic work to build this feud. So she gets the belt in January. Then we bring Charlotte Flair back for a Rumble. Who cares? And neither one of them have mic skill. So they haven't had the time to build it up because neither one of them have the quality of mic work to be able to give us to care about WrestleMania. It's just a bad combination. They should have never brought Charlotte for this.
Right. And you're doing the same thing with Charlotte. You're doing it with Cena. You're forcing her into a title match when you probably could have built something better with Tiffy with somebody else.
Absolutely.
Who else, though? I mean, that's another thing. Who else?
Bailey can work with anybody and help them.
Bailey cakes, I'm tired of taking L's, but yeah, true.
We've got plenty of NXT
look what
talent.
True.
You like what they're talent.
That too.
I'm waiting for Jade. Where is she? Right? We've got Roxanne that's here too. We've got so much talent. And here's the thing. They've proven that you're not exclusive to the red brand or the blue brand. They could have done some crossover work to get Tiffany a bigger name to build her up. So we wouldn't be in a triple threat match. We don't need to have a triple threat match. We could have used Bianca or Rhea or Io to give her other side. We didn't need a triple threat them, and we have a lackluster on the other side. Yeah. Yeah, there's so much talent that they did this for one reason only. Charlotte's name is Flair, and that's why. And that's why nobody cares. And here's the thing. We're talking about it a ton, but really none of us care.
People are tired of it.
We're talking about it because we don't care, and we want to know why. Why are they expecting us to buy into something because of the name?
The proof was in the pudding at Royal Rumble when Charlotte returned and Alexa Bliss's pop blew the roof off of that place.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so off the hook. Yeah.
So I'm going to touch on what Sirius said about Alexa. She was pulled from the Fanatics events, the meet and greets, the whole nine. I think this is where they're trying to keep that kayfabe option alive. I think they're going to reinsert her as another surprise someplace, somewhere along the lines at Mania itself. I don't think she's going to be involved in the build up to it. and I wanted to kind of talk about like how these builds and their slow builds and everything else, they're distracting us with a lot of the bloodline stuff still, with the Tonga Loa, you know, the Fatu storyline, things like that. And then Cena Cody is like the big thing on Raw right now. So I think they're building more stuff for us to say, oh shit, that just happened. Maybe 2 weeks before Mania, they really start burning this off and setting everything up. I don't know. And I know it's not typical behavior that they do. They usually do the big builds and just build things up. But I kind of seen the turn in this, the way they're booking things and the way they're throwing things together. It looks like they're throwing it together at the last minute. I think they have a bigger plan. I just don't know what it's going to be.
I like the Gunther J build. I think they're doing great with that.
I don't like that
Gunther
10,000th run-in that they do on each other. That's got to change.
Yeah, it's
right.
boring.
But you got Gunther throwing his weight around and doing his little mic work that he's getting better at. Not good at, but better. Making Jay doubt himself. And Jay's doing a good job playing that he's been doubting himself.
I think the problem with this is when Jay takes the belt, Gunther loses all credibility. There's just, because we already had the storyline last year that he was doubting himself and he wasn't sure that he was the right thing with the whole Priest thing. We're about to go into the same story a second year in a row because Jay's going to beat him. And everybody's like, oh, he's not as hard as he thought he was. He's not as hardcore as he thought he was. And I just think this is not a good matchup. This is not a solid storyline.
So we're going to have Gunther lose the strap at 2 Manias in a row?
I would.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not?
You don't. There's no way you don't put the belt on Jay.
I get it, but talk about credibility and this, that, and the third. Last year, Sammy knocks him off. This year, evidently, Jay's going to knock him off. So, at what point does Gunther's credibility start to take a hit?
When Kaiser starts to question him.
Yeah. I think he's already taking a hit. I agree. I don't see any world where it makes sense that Jay gets a strap. But again, this is another situation where the fans are speaking loud and clear. The fans have taken over the storyline. And the fans have really, again, I know we're going to talk about this later, is put him over. They've got to reward him for that. So what does that look like? They've got to give him a strap.
And it's not just a flash in the pan.
Yes.
It's been consistent.
Yeah. He's had, they said there's someplace overseas he got 4. He had 4 encores to do that they were yeeting. So they can't not reward the fans and him because he really is, I'd say top 3 right now. Easily. Cool. So they've got to give him a strap.
Jay.
They have to. So if you're that big, how do you reward him for all of his hard work? Right?
4 letters, 1 word.
But then what happens is that really is at the cost of Gunther, because there's no way that he can do this a second year in a row. There's no way, and him have any credibility to his current persona.
But to back Gunther on this, he lost the belt to Sammy when Sammy was hot.
Jay's hot.
Jay's hot.
Hottest.
Gunther, you feel bad for him, but at the same time, he's in these matches with these guys that are hot, whether you win or lose, they picked you to be there.
But he's just becoming a transitional champion at that point. You're strapping him up just to take it off of him. Exactly. And that's where the credibility changes. And for him, he just becomes a mid-card job.
But he had the IC belt for 666 days?
Yeah, he broke Honky Tonk's record.
Yeah, but look at Rey. Sure. Look at Rey Mysterio. It doesn't matter what you had before. It's what you have going now.
Correct. What have you done for me lately? And the thing is, I think the only way they can save Gunther's face, if you will, is if Jay wins by shenanigans.
Yes.
The way they're building that, it can't happen that way.
He's too clean. We're going to turn Cody before we're turning Jay, Aaron. We're turning Cody before Jay. Let's be real about that.
Like her thing. I'm not saying that
the story they're building.
Well, so let's say, for example, Kaiser comes down, gets involved. He goes to, hit Jay. He misses Jay, hits, Gunther. He does this thing, splash, boom, he wins the title. Not that Jay's doing stuff illegally, but he capitalizes on Gunther's F up, if you will.
But either way, that's still Gunther not winning because he couldn't win cleanly.
Well,
so he still takes a hit.
And then the issue I have with that is I think we were all in agreement that the Cody Cena match is going to have a wonky finish. So do you have both belts possibly change hands on?
That's a good point. That's a hell of a point.
You're talking right into my next point. So let me ask you this: with the exception of Reigns a couple years in a row, when is the last time a title hasn't changed hands at Mania? Mania's kind of been turning like this to predictable changing of the guard, but I'm saying at Mania.
Oh.
It's turning into a traditional changing of the guard. The face always wins the big fight at the end, blah, blah, blah. Daniel Bryan, like the list goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Do they swerve it and change the predictability and make one of these guys lose? They don't get their belt to the next night on Raw.
I can see
there'd be hell to pay if Jay didn't win.
Yeah, I can see a world where maybe, one of those, let's say the women's, title match doesn't change hands. And I want to talk about that in a minute. Yeah. But you have to give Jay his payoff on the biggest stage. So I can see Jay.
Let's just throw it out there that Cena loses.
Yeah.
Cody retains. This whole swerve comes on Monday night, what we're talking about earlier. Rock, you screwed me. Cena gets his rematch on Monday Night Raw, beats Cody there.
Because here's the thing. Here's why I don't think, and I know we're back on. I don't think Cena gets the strap, and I'll tell you why. Because he's not scheduled to do any Raw, SmackDowns, any live shows, anything after WrestleMania.
Neither was Roman Reigns, but this brother had the strap forever.
But the difference is Roman Reigns is still main card. Cena's here for a temporary time, a finite time. So why would
they just added some dates for him?
So he's going to quite a few more because I didn't see but a couple.
Some April. Okay. There's like the last 3 weeks in April and the first 3 or 4 weeks of May.
Yeah, I saw he was there for PLE weekend.
He's going to be here for a little bit, but
I mean Fridays for SmackDown.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, because I didn't see that added him.
I can legitimately see them giving the strap to, again, that's for all of the purposes. I can see them putting the strap on Cena and Cena working the Roman Reigns schedule. Because if you think back to the interview he gave a couple years ago, I'll show up less. Everything that I hold near and dear, I now don't hold near and dear. I care less. All the things that he named off that he would become if he turned heel are still possible, even him with the strap. Just because you put the strap on doesn't mean he had to show up all the time. He doesn't have to be the fighting champion like he was when he was a face and was a fighting champion. So I think it could work.
I think the only concern I have with that is now that we've got such a difference between Netflix and Raw and SmackDown and USA, that you've got to have those appearances on SmackDown consistently. You have to, because they are so different. It's not like they're on the same channel, different nights. You've got totally different formats now. So they've got to have some way of keeping SmackDown relevant in the mass quantities, and the way to do that is the belts.
Yep.
You can't have a working champion on Raw and not a working champion on SmackDown. You can't. Not right now.
I love when he gets like this because he knows we made a point. He got nothing to say.
No, I mean, you have a point. I mean, I get it, but this is a copy and paste situation, right? I mean, they've done this before.
Half the
But the
WWE
difference
is
is-
cut and paste right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So the fact
the difference
that
is we've got a Netflix situation and a USA situation. So it's not just anymore about, because USA was getting all the love before. Now you've
Right.
got two completely different brands. You've got Netflix, you've got USA. So you've got to keep a reason for people to keep their cable and keep their direct TV and keep all those things. And if that's what keep them there and they stop seeing all that on their SmackDowns, you lose ratings on USA and there's a problem.
And you have too much talent to run only one show.
Absolutely. You cannot afford to lose ratings on USA right now because of all the talent that's on Netflix.
I don't think you will, to be painfully honest with you, because the bloodline are cooked, and I mean, all
Charlotte
the
and
things
Tiffany aren't cooking. Charlotte and Tiffany aren't cooking.
Again, they're not, But I mean, you got
They're spoiled.
you got the tag team division that's cooking over there. We got to talk about the Street Profit. Shout out to them for getting them straps on
That
Friday.
was fire. Smartest decision for a while.
I love that. I mean, so SmackDown on Friday night is starting to cook a little bit, but again, I get your point. You do want your champion on there. You want your champion to be fighting champion. You want your champion to be seen. You want to prop the belt up, if you will. I just, again, if they put the strap on Cena, and again, I think they will. I just
Eventually,
don't think
I don't know if it's at Mania.
Yeah,
then why have him win the Chamber if you're not going to put the strap on him at Mania? Like, everybody in their mind was so convinced that was the direction that they were going. And again, this is WWE. They swerve and cross over more than the NBA does. But if you're going to have...
They don't flop as much, though.
They don't flop as much. Well, I mean, it depends. That's Ajay Uso about the flop he took on Monday night.
Yeah. We're going to get back to the Gunther J thing. I got one more thing to say on that.
But ultimately, I just don't foresee them doing all the things for Cena to win Elimination Chamber, turn on Cody, do all the stuff to have him not win the strap at Mania. I just don't. It makes no sense.
Did you see it coming?
The turn?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, you did. You just weren't listening. You just weren't listening. Don't you? We've been talking about this. Don't you come at me.
No, you've been trying to get me.
I've been telling you for months and months.
You've been trying to get me.
Don't you come at me, because you know for sure we were talking about this last summer. Don't you come at me.
You've been trying to get me to buy into the Cody thing, ma'am.
Just because you didn't believe it doesn't mean you didn't know it, and that's the bottom line.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because Stacy said so.
That's right. Let's say we talked 316 day.
I'll take the 5th.
So everybody was talking about how if Gunther loses to Jay, it's going to bury Gunther. I think if Jay loses, it buries him more, even though he's hot. He's already had, 2 shots at the title and lost.
Mm-hmm.
He's already had 2 shots at Gunther and lost.
Mm-hmm.
You buried him basically last year. You put him in all these, the King of the Ring. You put him to the end, towards the end of the Rumble, towards the end of Chamber, like teasing it, and he's just falling short. Like, if you give him this L, you bury him and you kill it. So it's more likely that Cody keeps his belt rather than Gunther.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody sitting here, anybody and listening, believes that Jey Uso's losing at Mania.
Right.
I don't think I don't think Vegas would be there anymore.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, Jay's not losing at Mania, but I can see a world, a very small world, where Cena doesn't win and take the belt off Cody.
Unless Cody turns heel and Cena makes a face run through the summer, chasing the belt to SummerSlam.
So here's the one question I have about this whole Cena Cody thing. Do you think Cody wants to be the answer to that trivia question? I know Cody respects the business. He grew up in the business. His father respected the business. Do you think Cody says, I'll do the job. I'll be the one that's the answer to that trivia question. Do you think Cody's got that in him?
He does. I think so. He walked away from a company he started.
Yeah. To get better, to come back
Right.
to where his home was.
Right.
I personally think that Cody respects it enough to be like proud that, yeah, I was the one that patched that torch to him for his final run. I could see Cody doing that.
I think Cody needs some time off. I think that he's had, heavy is the head that wears the crown. He's had the strap for 365 days. He hasn't been hurt. I haven't seen him take too much time off. The schedule and the grind of a WWE champion is crazy. I think he's deserved some time off. I think this is the way that the WWE gives him some time off.
Exactly, by selling his soul to The Rock and being a no-show champion, so Cena can run at him face at SummerSlam.
I see it the opposite direction because you're not going to turn. You're not going to turn Cody. There's just no way they're going to turn Cody. But anywho, I can see him dropping the strap to Cena doing his heel shenanigans until Cody gets back.
What, crying?
Yeah, exactly. The Drew McIntyre school of business right now. Woe is me. The sky is falling. F you and everything you stand for. You never cared about me. The whole bit. Until Cody comes back and then he enters, the picture with Orton and all these others, and it's a free for all until Cena leaves, or Cena or Cody, gets hurt at Mania, and kind of like what Roman Reigns did, take some time off, come back, SummerSlam or whatever it is, and like they need to give Cody some time off, and I think this is a perfect way for them to do that. He's not gonna take time off with the strap, so he has to drop the strap to Cena, and who better to do it than to give him his 17th and move on.
He would if he sold his soul to the guy who's on the board.
I mean, I'll tell you. I think
he sit at home like Logan Paul.
I think you have a valid point, Sirius. I'm in the camp, and I've been telling you this for months. I don't think Cody's dropping the strap to Cena until SummerSlam. I think again, this doesn't have This does not have a long enough. I mean, again, these are all quick storylines, right? We're building now. This one's building hard and fast. It's burning fire.
They're quick builds, but I mean, if there was any two superstars that can have a quick build and it'd be believable, it's these two.
But you can have a quick build, but you don't have to have a quick payoff.
If Cena was good on the mic,
has to. But why?
It's Cena Cody. Like, what do you mean? Like, they're named themselves. Like, Cena Cody is what Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair wish it was. The name itself is pushing this damn thing, and it also helps them to exit on the mic and whatever case it may be. But the quick build and the quick payoff is worth it, especially when you understand what's at stake. Cena is not wrestling in 2026. He has 6 to 8 months to get 17 and get the hell out the way for somebody else to come in 18.
Agreed, but think about it this way. We get a quick payoff at WrestleMania. Cody goes away. What do we do with Cena between now and the end of the year?
He does heel type stuff. He shows up less.
Yes. He's still going to have to be at SummerSlam.
I mean,
how are you going to build feuds?
Yeah, he's still going to have to be at all the other PLEs. So why not have him not get the strap? We've got a little more feuding. This gets hotter. This burns a little deeper. We see more Rock. We see more of this because we know that Rock can't WrestleMania, right? So we know that they've already announced 6 months ago that he wasn't available for WrestleMania. So we know at this point Rock is not going to interfere at WrestleMania.
I don't believe that.
So
not for a second.
Okay.
Not for a second.
But that
so
was
then is he going to be part of the build up to it? Because if he's not, it's a dead story. Because Cena, if that's what we're going to get, it's not going to be good.
So hear me out. So Cena doesn't get the strap. He's still going for 17. It still gives him a reason to continue to be there, right? He still does heel stuff. We still have all the things that happen, right? And it builds to an even bigger match at SummerSlam. Then he finally
The
gets a
first
strap.
2-night SummerSlam.
It's August. It's August. We've got a couple more months, right? Then Cody takes the back half of the year off, and that gives the opportunity that then it's Orton comes in, because right now Orton's busy, right? He's doing other stuff right now. So that gives the opportunity for Orton to come in. He can start his feud with Orton at SummerSlam. You went at my guy. Here's the thing, whatever. And then that builds to Orton, Cena. Orton gets the strap at Survivor Series or before that. And then The Rock comes back, and that's your Cena Rock fight. Because that makes sense, because we need to see, like, that's the way his popularity started, as Rock Cena, right? No better for him to close out. But he's got to have the strap gone anyway, because nobody's going to care if they're fighting with the strap. But if Orton takes the title before that, then you've also got the old Orton Cena feud. It's closing out all the things in the gap from his career. That also gives Cody the time to take the second half of the year. So we build this a little longer. It fires a little longer. Again, to Justin's point, our first 2-day SummerSlam. That's where we have the strap change. And that gives the chance for Cena to build the next part of the storyline. It just makes more sense to me.
That would also
Which
drive
is
tickets for
leading
SummerSlam.
to 18.
Yes. It just
I
makes
don't
more
think
sense
we.
for him
I
to
don't
not
think
get
we
it now.
need Rock Cena again. I really don't.
I need it. I kind of want to see it. I kind of want to see it.
But if that's the play, then that still gives them a chance to get both of them in. We still get Orton Cena and Rock Cena the last half of the year, which is when we need it anyway, because that's when he's leaving.
I need Cena to drop the belt to Orton.
Yes, of course. So why not let that be someplace between someplace between SummerSlam and Survivor Series?
I think that's just too short of a title run for Cena.
It doesn't matter how long he has it; he just has to have it.
Yeah, but I
for
just
2 days, and he still gets the
He's
record.
not there for the reign. He's there for the belt. That's it.
That's right.
But
He just wants the record.
I think it would discredit the win if it was only a 2 or 3 day, even a 2 or 3 month run. I think it discredits it. That's kind of like when they were.
You can't discredit 17.
No. Right, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, like, I think it takes a little bit away. Look at Charlotte. She's a 13 or 14 time women's champion. How many times did they flip-flop that belt back and forth, like a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it was? To me, that's discrediting. I know it's a win. It just seemed like they were building her up to get right below Daddy's number really fast. So, to just my opinion, it dilutes the title run at that point. I think you need at least a couple of months with it, more than that, maybe 3 or 4 months with the title. That would make it established for me. But I think if you turn him and put him on SummerSlam only to get him to War Games, that's the ending is so predictable at that point.
Well, I think it's kind of predictable anyway. I mean, we're already plotting it out. No matter when it happens, we already see the writing on the wall. And I think it's just different because since we know he's leaving, a lot of this is predictable regardless.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. If they give it to him at Mania, there's a lot less predictability because I said you got the Money in the Bank at some point that can be cashed in anytime. You have SummerSlam. You have other PLEs building up to that point where they could possibly pull the plug early and no one's going to see that coming. That's all I'm getting at. It's like you need to have the time to do something else where they're not going to shit all over it, like I said at the beginning of the show.
He's the first one to come out and like announce his last run, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First one to do it this way. So if they do decide to flip him back face and not give him the belt till SummerSlam, which I think is what they should do, who's to say they just don't let him retire with the belt and
let him vacate
replace it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good idea too. Set up a tournament.
You got 17, you're leaving with 17.
It's not a bad idea. Serious.
Then it's chaos. Who the next person is? It's chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, because you look past Cena, who is it?
Yeah. It's Orton.
It's got to be Orton.
It has to be Orton. It has to be Orton. It has to be Orton. But
his best friend got to retire him.
Yep.
Is it?
I don't think anybody else is going to come close for a long time.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And how many does Orton have? 15?
13.
14? 13, yeah.
He's only one behind Cena.
No, he's at like 13 or 14.
No.
He's got a few to go.
Yeah,
I think Orton's tied with Triple H actually at 14. Let me look.
Orton as a face right now with the belt is a beautiful thing.
No, your husband doesn't like him as a face.
Orton
No,
is
he
a
loves
14.
him as a
14.
face. He never knew him
Ah.
as a heel. I'm the one that was stressed out. I was like, wait, this my
Oh,
brain can't
that's-
compute.
You're the one waiting for the punch. My bad. You're the one waiting for the punch.
That's right. Because listen, we were on a break. WWE and I broke up for a little bit, but now we're back together and we're fully in love. And
Kind
I
of like
brought-
Cena
I
in the
brought my
crowd.
family with- yes, yes. But I brought my family with me, so I've got a whole house of newbies, and I try to explain. Y'all don't understand. Y'all love him. Everybody's doing this. I despise that man.
You don't like Orton?
No, I love him now, but it took me 6 months to like him again.
Oh,
I was like,
say,
this
he's
is
one of my faves all time.
So Robbie had a point over here. Stone Cold comes out.
I think that happens.
Stone Cold's gonna he's in Vegas that week.
Mhm.
He's gonna be at WWE World.
Could be at
Mhm.
WrestleCon too, yeah.
The
Yep.
Rock can't be there.
Yeah.
Stone Cold's getting involved in that match. It's gonna be one. The Rock will show up at the end to do his little cutthroat number thing.
Yeah.
So Stone Cold comes down and helps Cody on behalf of The Rock, turning Cody.
He's not. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Mikey
Stone Cold
Cook
already
just in time.
Stone Cold already came out and said he would help Cody.
Oh Jesus, take the wheel. Okay.
Well, I think this is the perfect time to cut this one, give y'all a break, because we can let Aaron stew and fester in his stuff here. Aaron, did you have anything you want to deal with Justin with tonight? Like, do you have any business you wanted to handle?
I'm mad at him right now. He forget him. I hate
What'd I
him so
do?
much. I hate him so much.
You told him too much truth.
You say stuff to make my skin crawl. You know what I'm saying? I got hives now listening to you talk about.
And I make good points that make you think about it.
Yeah. I love this stuff. It's fun. It's fun.
It is. All right, so that's going to do it for this show. If you guys are bored and want to listen to more shenanigans and bullshit, minus the bullshit we don't swear of on the other show, is this gonna be like the premiere event of the backstage business?
Yeah. It's the first episode.
So it's not the executive's view anymore.
Well, this particular wing of it, our wrestling show is going to be now called Backstage Business or Backstage something or whatever the hell it's going to be called. I'm not married to the name yet, but yeah, that's what it's going to be called. So we're still the executive's view, but this is the wing of it. The wrestling is going to be called Backstage Business. So.
Okay. So why don't you tell them what time it's live tonight and where they can find us, man?
So starting in about an hour, live across all your social media platforms, right here on YouTube, Facebook. We're streaming live on Instagram. A lot of these same knuckleheads and characters will be talking about everything you just heard here, plus some on the Executive's View. So check us out every other Wednesday, 9 o'clock. Aaron, Justin, if you want to pop on, let me know, man. I'll get you in there quick, fast, and hurry. Love that stuff, man. So thanks for having me on, man.
All right, sounds good. If you want, I'll send him the link and we can
get
him over and we can continue your reign of terror tonight.
One last question before we sign off.
Hold on, go ahead.
The hallways at the arena on Monday were amazing. That graffiti all over the wall. I loved that.
That was good.
Amazing.
That's really good.
That's illegal, sir. Do not do that. Do not go graffiti walls.
You're talking to a cop over here. You know what I'm saying? That's the one time.
Graffiti my own walls if I want.
I would love to help you. As a matter of fact, I'll graffiti that curtain again that's in the back of you because your stuff's starting to fall off of there.
It is. Thank God.
All right, Stacy, got anything for us?
Love it. Thanks for having me. We
You're
can
welcome.
continue on in
Anytime.
an hour. Got your
100%.
back always, clearly.
We could do this all day long with all you guys. So I'm going to put another feeler out there and let everybody know that we are going to do another massive crossover show for WrestleMania weekend, probably the week before. when all these storylines hopefully fit together. We'll get some information out exactly what date and time that is going to be, but that is going to be massive, like a big Muppet Show episode like last time. So
I would love to do like
He said
a
Muppet
live
Show.
watch, maybe not like stream the
We
event,
talked about
but like
that. We
like a
talked about
live reaction.
Mhm.
It'll be weird to be hearing shit both ways, but I don't know. That would be fun.
I've got to figure out how to do that and how the legalities work. I know a lot of these YouTubers do it. And
I
these
mean, and a lot of
TikTokers
them,
do
you're
it.
just seeing their face reactions,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
the show's on in the background.
right.
Yeah, but I
And
want to see how they
WWE
do it.
pulls that stuff all the time.
I wonder how they do it though with the show showing in there. These TikTokers do it. They're
Mhm.
showing the show and they're watching it. Like we get dinged for that constantly. They're always taking our stuff down for that. So we stopped doing it.
They might cut the audio.
Oh, maybe.
You might be able to use the
Mm.
video without the audio.
I would use I think the video would be more of a problem than the audio though. But we'll figure it out. So, all right, guys, don't just as soon as I'm going to close the show up, but don't go away yet. Justin, you want to get us out of here with your
Oh, with my later?
yeah, I want you
Like
to do
all
an
my
actual-
golf balls said today?
Yeah.
Later.
guys.